Let's start with an inconvenient truth you'll never hear in a glossy ad for high-end perfume. To the wilderness, every single one of us smells like a walking ecological disaster. Or worse, a bizarre, chemically embalmed corpse. Picture your average morning. You step out of the shower, freshly scrubbed with lavender body wash, spritz on some sandalwood deodorant, and feel like the absolute pinnacle of evolution. But if you were to cross paths with a wild wolf at that exact moment, its biological radar would go haywire with terror and confusion. To a wild animal, you don't smell clean. You smell like a toxic chemical plant. How did we get here? The truth is, our natural body odor is an incredibly complex chemical signature, fine-tuned by millions of years of evolution. Our skin isn't sterile silicone. It's a bustling metropolis home to billions of bacteria. On its own, sweat is virtually odorless, just water, salts, and urea. But once our trusty microscopic tenants, Corynebacteria and Staphylococcus, get to work, they break down these secretions into a kaleidoscope of volatile organic compounds. This is our personal biological passport. Without a shred of paperwork, our ancestors could read it to determine age, social status, health, and even genetic compatibility for mating. But modern society has declared all-out war on this natural code. We invented antiperspirants that use aluminum salts to literally cement our sweat glands, launching a localized genocide against our beneficial microflora. Then, we lacquer it all with a heavy coat of synthetic musk. In doing so, we completely erase our natural signature, replacing it with aggressive white noise. For wild animals whose very survival depends on the precision of their sense of smell, a perfumed human is a terrifying, absolute anomaly. In nature, nothing healthy and alive smells like mountain spring or citrus breeze. To them, such a sharp, artificial scent signals either toxic plants or chemical decay and rot. This is why wild animals sometimes attack hikers not out of hunger but sheer panic. The human radiates something so alien and threatening that instinct demands they eliminate this olfactory threat. We have willingly erased ourselves from Earth's great book of scents, turning into sterile ghosts. 95. How did our obsession with cleanliness turn us into the planet's ultimate chemical freaks? And why do forest dwellers see us as walking threats? The darkness. To understand how we pulled off this olfactory coup, we have to travel back to a time when hygiene was deemed a mortal sin and stench was a mark of true grandeur. If you think medieval Europe smelled of romance and fair maidens, I've got bad news for you. It smelled so foul that a modern person would pass out before even reaching the gates of any respectable castle. Back then, bathing wasn't just seen as an indulgence. It was considered a direct threat to your health. Doctors genuinely believed that warm water opened up the pores, allowing the plague and other deadly diseases to slip into the body. As a result, people went unwashed for months, sometimes even years. So how did they cope with the suffocating stench radiating from their own bodies? The answer is simple. They masked it with even heavier, knockout fragrances. That is how the great perfume industry was born, and it smelled nothing like flowers. The main ingredients in royal perfumes were musk, ambergris, and civet. 95. To appreciate the sheer irony here, civet is a secretion from the anal glands of the African civet, while ambergris is a byproduct of a sperm whale's digestive tract left floating in the ocean for months before washing ashore. The French aristocracy, led by Louis XIV, smelled like a wild cocktail of a zoo, whale waste, and unwashed flesh. And this was considered the height of luxury and allure. Animalic scents were prized precisely for their raw, primal power. They were believed to fortify the spirit and ward off epidemics. Palaces back then lacked basic plumbing, so heavy perfume served as the only shield against the stench of sewage wafting through the corridors of Versailles. But in the 19th century, scientific breakthroughs changed everything. Humanity suddenly realized the direct link between cleanliness and survival. Louis Pasteur's discovery of bacteria revolutionized our relationship with our bodies forever. The era of the Great Disinfection had begun. We began furiously scrubbing ourselves squeaky clean, churning out endless new varieties of soap and antiseptics. In this battle for survival, we went too far. 95. We didn't just wash away dirt. We created an artificial vacuum, cutting off a vital communication channel. And now, while we remain sterile on the outside, our bodies have begun broadcasting entirely different, terrifying signals to the environment. Signals that modern predators read with chilling accuracy, seeing us as an easy target. How did royalty manage to smell worse than modern dumpsters? And why was this nightmare of a scent considered the ultimate aphrodisiac of the era? The answer lies in the chemistry of fear and desire, a chemistry we have almost lost, but which still pulls the strings of our lives from the depths of our subconscious. When you experience stress, panic, or even mild anxiety, your body instantly triggers an ancient emergency protocol. A potent cocktail of adrenaline and cortisol floods your bloodstream. These hormones don't just kick your heart rate into overdrive. They literally crank your apocrine sweat glands, located in your armpits and groin, up to maximum capacity. The secretion they produce is fundamentally different from regular sweat. It's thick, rich in lipids and proteins. To the bacteria on your skin, this isn't just moisture, it's a premium, all-you-can-eat buffet. 95 microbes swarm this feast, breaking down the complex organic matter in seconds and releasing volatile fatty acids with a sharp, sour tang. In the wild, this sour trail translates directly. This is the smell of prey that is cornered, wounded, or about to die. To any predator, this scent acts like a giant neon sign flashing free lunch. But our obsession with synthetic cosmetics makes things infinitely worse. Most modern deodorants, shampoos, and laundry detergents contain polycyclic musks. These synthetic molecules are incredibly persistent. They don't break down for weeks and tend to bioaccumulate in tissues. Chemically, they are strikingly similar to certain natural toxins and patomaines, the cadaveric poisons released during protein decomposition. When you douse yourself in perfume to an animal's sensitive nose, you become a walking chemical reactor radiating danger and decay. Nature doesn't grasp the concept of fragrance aesthetics. It thinks in purely utilitarian terms. The scent of lily of the valley is lovely in a meadow, but when an 80-kilogram biped crashing through the underbrush smells like it, the forest's behavioral code breaks down. You strike them as either a terminally ill animal trying to mask its own decay or a dangerous mutant to be avoided at all costs. We spend thousands of dollars on niche perfumes to make an impression in the concrete jungles of our offices. But in the actual jungle, those perfumes turn us into targets or outcasts. Our quest for cleanliness has backfired spectacularly. We have become strangers in our own ecosystem. But has this olfactory dead end permanently isolated us from nature? Or is science already looking for a way to give us back our true, primal voice in the world of wild scent? And what is the exact fatal flaw in your favorite perfume's formula that makes forest bears mistake you for rotting carrion? Today, we stand on the cusp of a major perfume revolution, one that promises to restore our true voice in the planet's olfactory orchestra. Pioneering biologists are sounding the alarm. Our manic obsession with sterility and the wholesale destruction of our skin microbiome has led us to an unexpected dead end, a surge in skin conditions, depression, and profound social isolation. As it turns out, by blocking our natural scents, we are breaking the ancient evolutionary mechanism for finding a partner. 95. Our subconscious works with far greater precision than any dating app with its endless profiles and filters. We are instinctively drawn to people whose natural scent signals a set of histocompatibility genes opposite to our own. This is nature's way of ensuring healthy offspring. But buried under a thick layer of deodorant, this chemistry is impossible to read. We are choosing partners blind, or rather, nose-deaf. This is why the beauty industry is pulling a complete one. Aggressive, life-scorching antiseptics are being replaced by probiotic creams and perfumes infused with live bacteria. They don't mask odor. They optimize the microflora. Scientists are already developing custom, DNA-based perfumes that don't drown out, but instead exquisitely highlight each individual's unique genetic markers. In the future, we might ditch synthetic strawberry and fake ocean breeze altogether, returning to our own subtle, natural, and magnetic scent. Imagine a world where social networks are replaced by olfactory sensors, and a couple's compatibility is determined not by a profile questionnaire, but by analyzing the volatile compounds of their skin. But are you ready for this level of absolute exposure? Are you ready for a future where perfumes are tailored to your DNA, and the scent of fear or deception can no longer be masked by deodorant? After all, the body's natural scent is incapable of lying. It will instantly betray your panic on a first date, signal bone-deep exhaustion to a demanding boss, and whisper about hidden illnesses to those around you long before you even realize them yourself. We have hidden behind a screen of synthetic roses for so long because the truth of our bodies is simply too raw and honest for the civilized world. Yet, nature still sees right through us. Our skin continues to speak the ancient language of chemistry. Every time we step out the door, we write our own story, and the wild forest reads it with bated breath. The ultimate question remains: will we learn to blend back into this living world? Or are we destined to remain forever outsiders who smell of death?